Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our monthly AuxScout workshop. These workshops are developed by the Coast Guard Auxiliaries Youth Programs Division and are presented to provide Sea Scout youth and adults and the Coast Guard Auxiliaries with information about the Coast Guard support for the Sea Scout program. My name is Bruce Johnson, and I serve as Chief of the Coast Guard Auxiliaries Youth Programs. Our regular host, Auxiliarist PJ O'Neill, is currently serving as a cook aboard an underway Coast Guard cutter in the Atlantic. Let me just let these people in. There we go. AuxScout workshops are held on the first or second Tuesday of the month at 2100 Eastern, 2000 Central, 1900 Mountain, and 1800 Pacific time. Each workshop focuses on information that will help Sea Scouts and Coast Guard personnel work together. Topics for these workshops are recommended by Sea Scouts and Auxiliarists. Next month's AuxScout workshop will be on Sea Scout ship and Coast Guard Auxiliary partnerships. Tonight's topic is the admissions process of the United States Coast Guard Academy. Our presenter is Lieutenant Junior Grade Jacob Brown, U.S. Coast Guard. Lieutenant Brown currently serves as an admissions officer for the Coast Guard Academy and is responsible for recruiting and outreach of prospective students for over 10 U.S. states. Before serving as an admissions officer, Lieutenant Brown was stationed aboard the Coast Guard cutter Laguerre, 270-foot medium endurance cutter out of Portsmouth, Virginia, where he fulfilled a number of roles. Lieutenant Brown is from Virginia Beach, Virginia, and is a 2018 Coast Guard Academy graduate, where he majored in government. Lieutenant Brown is currently pursuing a Master of Arts degree in political science at the University of Illinois at Springfield. One last thing, I'd like to ask that you keep your microphones muted and keep your cameras off as well. If you have questions, please type them in the chat box. We will be monitoring the chat and we'll be sure to leave time to answer your questions at the end. So let's welcome Lieutenant Brown.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you so much, sir, for the lovely introduction here. And thank you to each and every person on board for the event here this evening, from the East Coast all the way to the West. And even if you're pulling it up on YouTube, that's completely fine too. Thank you for taking the time to learn a little bit about the Coast Guard Academy and to delve into your future. And this is why I couldn't be happier to be a part of this unique event here. And again, it's just an honor to be here to speak on behalf of the U.S. Coast Guard Academy. And so I'm really excited. I am the Southeast Admissions Officer at the Coast Guard Academy, so I do recruit specifically the states from South Carolina down to Florida, over to the West there to Texas and Oklahoma, as well as the Eastern Territories. However, again, as was mentioned, I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia originally. And of course, I've had the chance to meet a lot of friends from all around the world as well while I was at the Coast Guard Academy and since I've been in the Coast Guard. So I like to think that I'm everyone's admissions officer. But with that being said here, I'll go ahead and begin sharing my screen and we'll jump right into our presentation here. Fantastic. And sir, if you could just confirm that you're able to see everything great here.
Yes, you're fine. Go right ahead.
So here you see picture the beautiful Coast Guard Academy campus here. So if you look towards the bottom of the screen, you see the Cadet Memorial Field and a few other academic buildings, as well as the beautiful Thames River and the Gold Star Bridge there on your right or starboard side there, depending on how nautical that you are. But with that being said, this is just over 103 acres, and I did want to educate you a bit on the Coast Guard Academy as a whole, as not too many are oftentimes familiar with the Coast Guard Academy. So I do feel it's important to run you through what it looks like, what the day of a cadet is typically like, and then of course we'll talk about the admissions process as well. So a few slides and pictures here, some new statues that we have on campus and a multitude of other things, but again, an elite education here. So Another piece that you'll of course have the opportunity to delve in and be a part of is an elite education at the U.S. Coast Guard Academy. We're frequently measured by U.S. News World Report, Forbes, so on and so forth, as one of the premier institutions with regards to our teachers, with regards to our engineering courses, and a multitude of other courses and aspects and dynamics of a great institution as one of the best in the country there. You have a chance to, again, do something different, put service of others before service of yourself. As we look into the diversity and inclusion and representing all of our great country and even the entire globe there, we have it all. And I will definitely look to delve further into what we do preside and what we do have to offer here at the Coast Guard Academy. And it will be, without a doubt, time in and time out, during your time and even after your time at the Coast Guard Academy, one of the best times of your life. We do heartily and proudly say that we are the nation's longest seagoing service there. I know we like to poke a jab at our Navy shipmates because they did have the Continental Navy way back when, but they were disbanded for a little bit before they were reinstituted there. So we do like to joke about that, but again, we do love our brothers and sisters in arms across all services. Now focusing specifically on the academy. So of course, you're thinking of an institution that does have about a 10 to 12% acceptance rate amongst students there. But again, even with that being the case, you're always able, and we're always looking for folks to apply and to definitely step out and grab life by the horns here and to take hold of their future and to be the future great leaders of both the United States and the U.S. Coast Guard that we would like to see. Regarding eligibility for individuals interested in the Coast Guard Academy here, you will see that you do need to be a citizen of the U.S. You do have to be without financial debt, as well as an independent there, or not having any dependents, i.e. husband, children, wife, so on and so forth, but you can't have a boyfriend, girlfriend, and so forth. 17 to 22 years of age, as well as you do have to have a high school graduate degree or a GED. Looking at our enrollment here, we typically hold pretty steady with regards to having around 1,000 or so cadets at a time. So definitely a bit different than some of the other service academies if you're familiar with those institutions, as they typically have around 4,000 and about 1,000 in the class. But with that being said, we also do not allow us to make excuses as to why we aren't representing our great country once again. And so with that being said, we do have cadets from all over around the United States there. So it was awesome to have cadets and shipmates and good friends from Wyoming and from Idaho, as well as California, Hawaii, and a few other nations such as Gabon, Africa, and Panama and other places. Because of course, before I came to the academy, I had never met anyone from any of those areas, just being from Virginia. And so it was unique to say I was able to meet some lifelong friends there. Providing a few statistics with regards to the last class and what we're currently looking at in the core, we do proudly say that we have approximately 40% females, as well as a little over 35% minorities coming into the academy here. And of course, we do look to continue those numbers there. We're proud of them, and we do look to, of course, maintain being diverse and inclusive there, representative of our great nation. As you look at some of the numbers that are available and posted here, I know many tend to fret with regards to the GPAs and the SATs and ACTs. And I will say that it's okay. These are not minimums by any means. These are just averages that we typically see. And so individuals get into the academy without having that 3.75 or that 3.8 or 4.0. Likewise, individuals get into the academy without having that 1,200 or 1,300 SAT or 30 ACT as well. These are just averages so that you know just how competitive the pool often is, and you know what marks and benchmarks you need to be prepared to meet, and of course, step above. Looking at the athletic side of the house there, we do see that a lot of our cadets were prior high school varsity athletes, and actually about 60% or so of the core of cadets at the Coast Guard Academy are actually athletes at the academy as well, with approximately 66% of those individuals earning engineering, math, or science degrees. So we like to say best of class, going back to some of the statistics that I mentioned earlier with regards to some of our top rankings. Again, they're there. Individuals do have the opportunity to attend the Coast Guard Academy, and this one's for the parents and family here. It is tuition free for them. And notice I said them and not you as the prospective student. So it is free for the parents because they will not have to come out of pocket. However, as a student, you will be dedicating your time, your effort, a little bit of your sleep, and a few other things there as you're going to be going through a very rigorous 4 years. But again, you won't have to spend any money on it. But again, you will be working very hard throughout these 4 years so that you can ultimately graduate and say that you're a Coast Guard officer and a graduate of the U.S. Coast Guard Academy. But in order to have some fun on the weekends, we do provide a stipend for you so you can go out and enjoy yourself. You're going to have a job with a 5-year obligatory service commitment upon graduation. But again, you're going to be able to go far and wide with regards to the possibilities in your life as a Coast Guard officer and even as a civilian if you do elect to get out of the service after your 5 mandatory years after graduation. But another key statistic that we do like to speak on is the fact that 85% of the folks that remain in the CG earn graduate degrees. And we actually know for sure that around 85% of the folks meet their 5-year obligation, of course, and then they decide to stay in the Coast Guard as opposed to jumping out there. And so again, a lot of folks stay in as opposed to getting out. So that's just strictly a testimony to our service, to our institution, and the type of individuals that we attract, and just how great it is to be out in the fleet once you are there. And so we have a small student faculty ratio there. And again, the opportunities for you to definitely make your mark as you graduate with the 100 tons license, being able to drive very big vessels. You're not paying for these different plans and licenses and things like that, whereas typically on the outside world, you will be paying a hefty fee to be able to sit and even test for some of these things. But again, a lot of opportunities being presented to you once you graduate. Looking at academics here, of course, we are very STEM focused. So here's a picture of our tow tank, as we call it, which is located in McAllister Hall, which is our home to engineering. And so this tank, of course, tests the various abilities of various ships. You have the chance as a naval architecture major to test a multitude of ships, use popsicles and a wide variety of other objects, and seeing how far your ship can go and what it takes to keep it going. And from there, you're stepping up to the big plate where eventually you may be drafting a blueprint for the next ship that will be on the line there for actual construction. And so you never know. I had classmates that actually did have this opportunity to do so. It is pretty cool to say that, wow, they had a little bit of a hand in helping draft the next Coast Guard cutter. Looking at all of the other degrees, again, being STEM focused, we have all the engineering classes that you could ever imagine. I, as a government major, stayed as far away from those classes as I possibly could. However, everyone across the board will take classes from the other majors so that you get a little bit of a taste with regards to how your shipmates feel when they're complaining about their mechanical engineering homework, or likewise they're complaining about writing a 30-page paper. You'll have just a little taste of that as you will become a little bit familiar with each of the different majors that are available there. So you do see, of course, all the engineering, as well as the operations, research and computer analysis, marine environmental sciences, which is, of course, just as it sounds, a little bit more focused on the marine and environmental side, then our management government majors wrapping up the humanities side as well. But with those also being said, you will all receive a Bachelor of Science degree, which is very, very unique. And another great part is the fact that regardless of what your major may be, you are not stuck to one path upon graduation just because of what your major was. So I had shipmates that were mechanical engineers, and fast forward now, a little over 3 years out, they're flying aircraft or they're driving ships, and then they're not particularly being the engineer of the ship. Likewise, I had shipmates that were government and management majors, and the same goes to them as well. Leadership and professional development. So you will be a part of this 200-week journey, 4 years there to become a Coast Guard officer. So we're looking at the whole individual. And so as you look at the domains here with regards to military, academic, professional, athletic, and social, that's exactly what we're looking for in our applicants. And we do need that all 4 years. And each year you're going to go through a progression in which you get better and better at your craft. And that's the whole point of having this experience of being at the Coast Guard Academy. physical and athletic development. While you're doing your military side of the house, you're going to have the chance to be an athletic superstar as well. So definitely don't want to forget about that here with regards to our different sports and things you can be involved in. Of course, we have all the varsity sports you could ever imagine with our baseball, softball, soccer, swimming, football, my favorite, of course, wrestling, a few others, but we also have our rifle teams, field hockey, rugby, water polo, as well as our intramural clubs that start, such as flag football, golf, scuba, and a multitude of other ones. But in addition to these clubs, maybe you play an instrument. We do have Glee and a multitude of jazz bands and other bands that actually play at some of our regimental drill parades. And we even have a multitude of clubs that may better serve our various communities on board, whether it be the Genesis Council in our Black community or the Spectrum Council in our LGBTQ plus IA community, and so on and so forth. We have a wide variety of these clubs that are available to always make individuals feel at home and feel like they have a home away from home here in New London, Connecticut. Here's a few pictures of myself during my great times as a Coast Guard Academy cadet, as well as even as an officer here. Starting in the middle there, I actually will start to the right side. That was me during my SWAB summer, our basic training side of the house, having the time of my life, clearly, as we engaged in a little bit of a rifle M1 Grand motivation, as we like to call it. And so definitely some good stuff going on there. Right underneath there, even better time playing against MIT. Some good snapshots there. Definitely remember that play like it was yesterday. Definitely provided for a little bit of a headache afterwards, but boy, was the crowd excited. And on the right there, I see my older brother. I think always give him a shout out. 2011 grad from West Point, now currently serving as an Army officer. And fast forward 4 years later, there he is, still alongside me at my graduation there. So definitely a very special moment for myself as well as my family. In the middle, senior year, walking with Rear Admiral Rendon, who was the former superintendent of the Coast Guard Academy during one of our drill parades. So that was always awesome. And then on the top left there, just an awesome chance to take a picture of the sunset every day. It looks like the beautiful picture that you see there when you're out on the high seas and you're sailing out there. So definitely had to take a picture and just definitely sit in that moment for a little bit. I oftentimes pull that picture up again just to remind myself of the good old days there. Now looking at cadet life, there is some fun to be had there. And so a day in the life of the cadet there, as one of my very good brothers that I played football with in high school like to say, late nights and early mornings is a way of life. And so if you're like me, sometimes you procrastinate a little bit, and that's okay. Things happen. Sometimes you'll get to bed early, sometimes you won't. But typically everyone is ready to rock and roll around 0600 in the morning there. You're gonna go to a breakfast and eat. And so it's cool to be able to have what we call family style, because it's like being like with your family. You have everyone together and you all enjoying yourselves there. You may have a training in the morning. You have classes from approximately 0800 to 1200 there, and you repeat that family style meal. Then you'll jump right back into classes, and then you'll have your athletics periods. You'll have your time to go to your various club meetings and so on and so forth. And then dinner is buffet style. So maybe you're stuck in your room for a little bit, so you need to do some homework. Maybe you want to order out or whatever may be the case. But again, you definitely have that opportunity as you would like to. But New London is a really great place. And so I, again, had never been to the Northeast before coming to the Coast Guard Academy. So it was very, very unique to come to New London and visit and to see what it was like. I was honestly shell-shocked when I had the chance to come to New London and Connecticut. It was awesome to go to the family-friendly casinos, to see the sailing vessels, to go to Boston and hang out, go to the city that never sleeps and watch all the taxi cabs drive past me, even though I had my thumb up like they do in the movies. It was all awesome. And so I definitely enjoyed that. And as you can see here in these pictures, cadets definitely have a lot of fun. It's not always just marching around and studying. Just some more pictures of all the fun times that cadets definitely have. And here's a quick little snapshot of the area in case you're unfamiliar with any of the places that I was speaking on. And so we're just 2 hours away from Boston, 2 hours away from NYC. If you want to go a little bit further, you can always travel to Philly, and you can even head over to Martha's Vineyard in Nantucket as well. So it's pretty cool to hang out with that side of the world there in the US as well. Now looking at the beautiful Bark Eagle, America's tall ship. Here's just a few pictures. So this vessel was actually acquired after World War II from the Germans here. And so it was unique that we were able to acquire it and then of course keep it going after all these years. And so she's beautiful as a sophomore. You'll have the chance to sail on her as a freshman. You'll have the chance to sail on her. And if you had so much fun those 2 years, your junior, senior year, you can do it all over again. And if you really have fun all those 4 years, you can actually go there as well and sail again as a brand new officer in the Coast Guard fleet. And so on this vessel, I had the chance to go to Maine. I had the chance to go through the Bermuda Triangle to the Bahamas and a multitude of other places. And she sails all around the world, and she has a lot of sister ships from other nations. And so it's always beautiful to proceed forward into a port with all these tall ships together, even though they have different nation or national flags. They all look pretty similar. And so it's very unique and special to be able to take part in that. And you will learn, of course, a few pieces of seamanship, and you learn about the sea and its lore and what that means and how to really love everything there is to observe, to feel, to see, to smell about being out there on the high seas. Looking further into your careers here, a lot of opportunities to do a wide variety of things. The Coast Guard has 11 different missions that are specifically entitled to us as we are a member of the Department of Homeland Security, as opposed to the Department of Defense, like our other branches that we work with oftentimes. But again, it provides us unique opportunities to do a lot of different things, whether it be boarding vessels that typically we wouldn't be able to board, say, if we were in the Navy, because it could be seen as an act of war, or going into certain areas or stepping on certain land that more often than not, if you had a different uniform or maybe one that was specifically camouflage, it would be seen as a more aggressive act. Whereas when we step on, it's seen as oftentimes a more humanitarian act there. So you do see a wide variety of our missions there. And it is cool to say that we have icebreakers that go all the way up to the North Pole as well as the South Pole. We actually take scientists with us. And so they have the opportunity to study the ice caps and of course take pictures with penguins as well. And tying everything into our majors, again, it is pretty cool that you can make your major work for you. And likewise, if you prefer not to make your major work for you, that's fine as well. If you want to major in naval architecture, marine engineering, but you want to be a what we call law dog and a law enforcement officer, you want to hang out on foreign vessels and do counter drug missions and so on and so forth, you can do that. Or if you want to be a government major and then you want to proceed to work in DC and headquarters and help write policies for various Coast Guard missions and assets, that also works too. Again, just a few awesome pictures of some things that you'll see not only upon graduation, if that is your set path, but even as a cadet, you have the chance. As a cadet, I had the chance to go over to, of course, Bermuda and all those fun areas, as I mentioned earlier. But that sophomore year on the back half, I actually had the chance to go to Seattle, Washington on an icebreaker and to see that side of the country, which of course was beautiful. And then my senior year, I had the chance to go through the Panama Canal for the first time and to have my first drug bust and see what that was like at 3 a.m. in the morning there down south. And so again, a lot of fast-paced stuff going on, and I, at the time, hadn't graduated yet. Another piece that we just love to speak on too, as well as the Coast Guard is a very operational service, very, very operational. Now, while we do train, of course, we do always work to become experts and professions and perfectionists of our craft. At the same time, though, again, we're doing the mission day in and day out. I can't even count the number of times that we were training, and then in the middle of our training, we actually got a call for a real potential drug bust or a real search and rescue case, and we were on the way to saving someone's life. So again, it just was awesome to know that day in and day out, not only were we training in the event that something did happen, but we were always ready, as we like to say, semper paratus, in event when things actually did happen as well. Now, looking at the admission side of the house, I did speak a lot, of course, to all the fun that you're going to have once you graduate, because again, chances are you're going to spend more time as a Coast Guard officer than you're going to spend as a Coast Guard Academy cadet. And while you may really enjoy your time as a Coast Guard Academy cadet, I will bet my bottom dollar, I'm not a betting man, that you will enjoy your time even more so as a Coast Guard officer. So again, you will certainly enjoy your time more so as a Coast Guard officer than as a Coast Guard Academy cadet. That is often why we definitely like to hone in on specifically the opportunities available upon graduation. But looking at the Coast Guard Academy application, everything's online. It does require a few documents there, medical qualifications through our DOTMERB or Department of Defense Medical Evaluation Review Board, our PFE or physical fitness examination, which is a bit different than the other service academies, CFA, if you're familiar with that. For us, our PFE is a 1.5 mile run, push-ups, as well as sit-ups. And so a little bit different. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to reach out to your respective admissions officers. And then sometimes we even ask or request for interviews. And of course, you personally can ask for an interview as well. So definitely want to prepare for that PFE. What we typically see on average is around a 230 or so score from individuals that receive that direct appointment offer there. But again, it is a tough test and it is unique. It will test your skills as the push-ups or cadence, for example, whereas oftentimes individuals are used to doing push-ups as fast as they can. And that 1.5 mile run is definitely a tough one as well. If you're not on a cross-country team, speaking from the football player perspective, we oftentimes get breaks in between our plays. And as a defensive player, we weren't always too big of fans of the no huddle offense. And so I like to have breaks in between my runs, but of course with that 1.5 miles, there's no breaks there. But again, definitely make sure you're preparing the best that you can, going for runs when you can. You can always do sit-ups on the floor at home and push-ups as well. So definitely a test you can master if you devote yourself to it. Looking at some of our critical dates and decisions in our timeline here, we do have October 15th coming up with regards to our early action. Of course, our applications are open, so definitely feel free to reach out to me anytime if you have any questions or concerns with regards to when you will receive the decision. If you apply early action, that will be December 23rd at the latest. Early action is when you have the chance to, of course, receive that decision early. I will say that it is a very competitive pool more often than not, but it is non-binding in nature. And so if you do receive that appointment offer, then congrats. You have the opportunity to join us for the upcoming class. And so definitely an exciting time there. But again, if you are not accepted, you do have the chance to either be rolled over, as we like to call it, or you ultimately, unfortunately, may not receive that appointment. But a lot of times folks are rolled over. If you would like to speak further with regards to your likelihood of being rolled over or whether you should wait and things like that, again, feel free to reach out to your admissions officer there. Looking at the regular admission deadline, that will occur on January 15th, and you can look to have a decision back by April, and then hopefully we'll hear back from you by May, and then ultimately you'll be reporting at the end of June there, and we'll be looking forward to having you in that next class. So you see signs like these all around the campus, and they change out pretty frequently, but you all are well on your way by even going to YouTube and checking out this link, being in the Scouts and taking the time to devote yourself to something bigger and larger than yourself, and taking time to devote to your future as well, when you could easily be just hanging out with your friends, playing video games, watching TV, making TikToks, so on and so forth. But again, you took the time to join me here this evening to pull this up on YouTube in the morning and check it out, or maybe in the afternoon while you eat your lunch. And across the board, all those are fantastic options, and definitely keep that drive and motivation, because it will certainly take you a long way in life. Now, action items here for you as prospective cadets here. And if your family or friends are watching as well, definitely feel free to take some action on these as well. You can always meet with your admissions officer or arrange either Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or phone, or in person. We do have the campus currently open right now, so folks can definitely arrange to reach out to the admissions officer a time to come to the Coast Guard Academy. And of course, online, we do have our virtual campus and tours available, as well as a few campus programs upcoming for the juniors on board here. Again, juniors going into their seniors year, you can apply for AIM in February. So that's always a great time. Definitely make sure you do that if possible, because in the event that you want to see what the Coast Guard Academy experience is like, get a little taste of what it would be like to engage in swap summer and run around and be motivated, as we like to call it. Definitely, you want to participate in the AIM program. It'll make all the difference for you for sure. And so, with that being said, there we have the Bears Den Cadets for a Day, things like that. Be sure to sign up for a Bears Den account. If you're having any trouble at all, just feel free to Google Coast Guard Academy Bears Den. That will put you into our system. And from there, once you're in the system, you will always get our emails with regards to upcoming events, updates regarding campus closure or opening, and so on and so forth. And again, Genesis is another fantastic program there that's available for our minority students and their parents as well. And just again, you apply ultimately going into the spring there for the AIM program or the Academy Introduction Mission. That is the one specifically for the individuals going into their senior year who really want to give a good old test drive to the Coast Guard Academy. It will definitely be the time of your life. You're gonna probably sweat just a little bit, just a tiny bit, but I guarantee you'll have more fun than you will sweat as well. And then last but certainly not least here, our Coast Guard Academy Scholars Program. So upon receiving notification of your ability to come and join us at the Coast Guard Academy, you could also ultimately receive an appointment, not receive an appointment, or you could be accepted into our Coast Guard Academy Scholars Program, or CGAS for short. And it is a preparatory school, what we call sponsor you, i.e. pay for everything. And all you have to do is make sure you go down to Marion, Alabama at the Marion Military Institute, Georgia Military College in Millersville, Georgia, GMC, or the Naval Academy Preparatory School in Rhode Island. And you have to go to one of those. We will pick it more often than not for you. Typically, our athletes go to the Naval Academy Preparatory School, but again, we will pick that one for you there and we'll send you there. You'll be getting paid handsomely for sure. And you'll have to make good grades, work really hard, keep your physical fitness up. And then after that, you'll come and join us for that next class at the Coast Guard Academy. And so again, we take care of you, we make sure everything that you need is paid for, and we sponsor you. Again, make sure that you're ready to rock and roll once you come to the Coast Guard Academy that following year. And so never see it as well, you weren't good enough or the Academy didn't want you, so on and so forth, because we do. We just ultimately, if we select you for this program, believe that maybe there was one piece or another piece that need a little bit more work. I personally was not a product of the Coast Guard Academy Scholars Program. However, I probably should have been after my first few semesters at the Coast Guard Academy, because I definitely needed some help there. I don't think I was ready, but that's okay. It all worked out ultimately. But again, definitely never feel if you do receive this opportunity that you're less than or inapt or unfit for the Coast Guard Academy. Another important piece here, our cadet support is always available, whether it be the clinic or on-site civilian counselors and chaplains and things like that. We have sponsor families that are local families, of course, that are vetted, oftentimes either active duty or retired military personnel or individuals with very, very close affiliations to the Coast Guard Academy, whether they teach there or know students that went there, or they've just been in the area and they've been at every Coast Guard Academy football game since 1972. Whatever it may be, these individuals are available for our cadets that may be a bit further from home, whereas I was pretty fortunate to be from Virginia, which I thought was far from Connecticut, about almost 9-10 hours there typically. I had shipmates from Thailand, and then I really thought, wow, I'm not that far from home. And so I got over that pretty quickly. But again, my sponsor families definitely always help. They will pick you up and they take you out to lunch and they'll let you play with the cats and the dogs, and you'll always have a good time with them. So definitely something that you want to participate in. But again, these individuals are often available 24/7. And we have a lot of folks that support communities, whether again, you're in that Genesis Council or you're in the Hillel Jewish Club or whatever it may be, you're always going to have a community and a network here. And we're always available to be a support piece and some foundation, a little bit of a rock for you here while you're at the Coast Guard Academy. And with that, I will close for questions and answers, and I will stop my screen share here. So definitely feel free to reach out to me. I am available online. You can always find my page if you Google Coast Guard Academy admissions officers. My name is Lieutenant Junior Grade Jacob Brown, and I'm always available for you. And even if you're, of course, not from the East Coast there, if you're about to move soon or you're going to the West Coast or you're overseas, whatever it may be, I'm still always here for you. And I didn't want to leave it here on this picture for just one moment, because this is my class's graduation there, and I get to see my shipmates, many of whom I have not seen in years. I see some of my football teammates in the front here that are flying helicopters and saving lives. Some of my other shipmates that are out here, and they're the commanding officers of ships and the executive officers second in charge of ships, all just doing great things. So this picture brings back a lot of good old memories. But with that, all right, now really we'll stop my screen share here. So I do thank each and every one of you for taking the time to participate and for just watching this video here and expressing some interest in the U.S. Coast Guard Academy. So thank you.
Okay, I'm going to, let's go this way. Okay, Lieutenant, one of the questions that came in, my son is a sophomore in high school. What studies should he be taking to increase his chances of being admitted to the academy?
Fantastic question there. And so oftentimes as a STEM-based school, even if you want to major in government like myself or management, some of the other majors that aren't particularly STEM focused, we still need you to be well prepared for the STEM classes, because you will be taking calculus, chemistry, and physics, which oftentimes beat folks up pretty well. And so you definitely should be taking AP calculus if you can, AP physics if you can, and AP chemistry if you can. If those are unavailable to you, of course, dual enrollment works, honors works, and whatever variants that you may have, feel free to have your son there reach out if they have questions about other levels that they may take, especially if they're overseas or anything like that. But again, those three courses are pretty pivotal to getting it done. And then following up on that, it's really important that the individuals that are applying delve into their extracurriculars at the next level. So we always want to see leaders. So you don't have to be just in every club that your school offers, but if you're the president of 2 or 3, that's a really, really good look. And then in addition there to being the president, what else are you doing in your community? What else are you doing that ultimately makes that resume really, really nice, and academically there, how are you performing? So if you're able to take those tough classes and knock them out, you'll be in the driver's seat when it comes to the admissions process.
Okay, I have a question, comment from John Rose. He says, as a Sea Scout leader, I'd like to introduce this to my scouts. Is it possible to get a copy of this presentation? By the way, go Navy. And John probably missed the comment at the beginning. This presentation is going to be posted on the AuxScout YouTube channel and will be available either later tonight or early tomorrow morning, and we'll post its availability on both the AuxScout Facebook group and the Sea Scouts BSA Facebook group. So we'll provide a link for that. Sorry, Lieutenant, I knew the answer to that one.
That's all right. I have to say that just because my brother, he'd be upset if I didn't say go Army, beat Navy as well. And of course, from the coastie side, go coasties all day.
Right. Let's see. The first one was Mr. Skid, and he mentioned that his son is an Eagle Scout and is working on ordinary, which is the second rank in Sea Scouts and is a respectably difficult achievement. Let's see. Here's a question. Is the Genesis program still run by the Academy?
Yes, so we are still running the Genesis program at the Coast Guard Academy. I definitely would like folks to, if they're interested in specifically hopping onto the Genesis Council train or the Asian Pacific American Council train, as well as the Compañeros train, to definitely become AMOT members or Academy Minority Outreach Team members. And so similar to the Academy admissions partners who are individuals, whether it be auxiliaries or active duty, retired, so on and so forth, family, friends, and affiliates that would like to participate and engage in the recruitment process at the Coast Guard Academy, then definitely feel free to Google those and to participate and sign up as you see fit there. Because again, there aren't too many Coast Guard Academy admissions officers in our office. And as I spoke on, I'm fortunate. I recruit just a few states in the Southeast, but I have a shipmate from the West Coast that recruits the whole entire West Coast, so California and Arizona and New Mexico and so many other states I can't name and is overseas. So, you know, we're all swamped. So it really helps to have our field representatives and our AMOT members as well as our Academy admissions partners. So definitely feel free again to just Google those.
So how is the Coast Guard Academy different from other service academies?
So another great question there, sir. And haven't had the chance to go through that process as a high schooler, I will say that we are very different, although we're far more similar than I thought as a high schooler. And so being from Virginia Beach, Virginia, I saw Navy all day. In Norfolk, of course, I saw Hampton and Hampton, the Air Force, Langley Air Force Base is right down the road there. The Marines, of course, are in a little bit further north, but all the branches are there and everyone's hanging around, even the Coast Guard's in the corner, tucked away down in Virginia Beach. But again, across the board there, the services are definitely, of course, reflected by the specific academies. And having friends that have gone to Navy, have friends that have gone to Air Force. My brother went to West Point. I consider West Point ultimately there as well. And I would say the Coast Guard, with us being a DHS mission, Department of Homeland Security, and in a smaller, much more smaller branch, you see that, and it starts at the Coast Guard Academy for us. And so everyone knows everyone. As a freshman, you'll know everyone all the way up to your senior year, and then fast forward later, you'll be a senior and you know everyone from freshman year. So it is unique that I could typically name anyone from the class of 2017 or 2018, and I know exactly who they were. And likewise, you name someone from the class of 2020, and I know exactly who they are too. And you definitely can't say that at the other service academies for sure. And it's unique, the family atmosphere and the environment and the sense of community that you receive at the Coast Guard Academy is unmatched and unparalleled, to be completely honest.
Why did you personally decide to join the Coast Guard?
So I definitely grown up said that I would never join the military. And then I said that, well, if I did join the military, I would never do the Coast Guard. So life has a funny way of playing jokes on you in that regard. But for me, it was stepping out on a whim. I was very blessed and fortunate to have the opportunity to choose between playing football at West Point or playing football at the Coast Guard Academy. And definitely the aura of playing Division I football is definitely there as we engage in full-fledged college football season there. Hook 'em horns, by the way. But aside from that, again, you watch the scenes of college football, especially at the Division I level there, it's all amazing every time. But I decided that I just wanted to try something completely different and just to see what it would be like. And I also can't stand following in my older brother's shoes. And so I wanted to mix it up a little bit, and I tried the Coast Guard Academy. And I definitely couldn't be happier with my decision in coming to the Coast Guard Academy and taking that chance to just step out and do something different in life. And so I know that across the board, whether you're considering the great in-state schools that are in your area, or some of the closer out-of-state schools, or maybe some of the great further away schools, such as the Harvards and Yale, things like that, or the West Points and Naval Academy, Air Force Academy, Merchant Marine Academy there. Again, across the board, they're all fine institutions, but sometimes in life, you just have to step out on a little bit of a whim there and see what happens. And then sometimes it work out in your favor. And then to answer that next question in the chat there, I played outside linebacker while I was at the Coast Guard Academy there.
We were talking a little bit before the webinar started, and you mentioned that you're going to be at the Academy for another couple of years, but you have some goals for yourself personally after this tour. Would you be willing to share that with the group?
Yes, sir, absolutely. So I did spend 2 years on a cutter in which I enjoyed every moment of that. And so with that, 2 years on that cutter, 1 year fully at sea. Ultimately, he's 3 months in, 3 months out, 3 months in, 3 months out, so on and so forth, all the way up to the end of the 2 years. But I felt I have a different calling, and ultimately, I do want to apply for our Coast Guard JAG program, which would be the lawyer side of the house. And so, working towards completing the master's and moving forward with that, and hopefully head in that direction there, or possibly teaching at the Coast Guard Academy, which I feel would also be awesome because it's the individuals such as those that are tuned in this evening that I feel really warms my heart day to day out and where my passions lie in life. So whether it's defending them in the courtroom, writing policy to further support them, or teaching them right there in the moment about Alexander Hamilton and everything he did for the Coast Guard. All those sound like really, really awesome opportunities to me.
Well, thank you very much, Lieutenant. May I assume that if people have questions that occur to them after this is done, that it would be okay for them to write to you, send you an email?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So definitely, please, anyone that's interested, send me an email. And again, doesn't matter if you're not from South Carolina or Georgia. You can be from Washington, from Virginia. You can be from overseas, former military, not military, so on and so forth. Definitely want to reach out to you and speak and just talk about all the awesome opportunities that we have at the Coast Guard Academy. Definitely, again, learn a lot from the individuals that are leading you here, such as Mr. Johnson and his team, because these individuals are the true legends and the true heroes. And so definitely make sure you all are reaching out to them, engaging and feeding off all the brilliance and all the knowledge and wealth that they have there, because again, they are the true heroes and the true breadth of knowledge that we all aspire to be. So again, definitely reach out to me through, and best contact is certainly email as well, as oftentimes we're on the road and out of the office. So
all right. Well, thank you very much, Lieutenant. I really appreciate your joining us this evening. For everybody else, we'll be posting this webinar on YouTube in the next 24 hours, and we'll let you know when it's available. Thank you, Lieutenant. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening, and we'll see you next month. Take care. Bye-bye.